Because your argument is about consent.
That's what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying where it gets messy.
So wait a second. It wouldn't actually matter if a guy was with his live-in girlfriend or even his wife.
Yeah.
And they were banging every single day unprotected.
Yeah.
He just has to not consent, right?
Right, but that's true. At the baseline, you have to draw the line somewhere, so it is true, and that's where it gets more into, it's honestly just going to make that man look like an asshole. If he was there for her full pregnancy and acted like and then he abandoned her, he's going to look like an asshole, but I still think,
okay,
I mean, I don't think it's morally okay, but I think it's legally, you have to draw the line somewhere, and I do believe legally no one should force anyone to be a parent, because truthfully, some people aren't meant to be parents. They don't want to be parents.
We're not talking about him being a parent. We're talking about extracting support from him.
I understand that, but like that is financially support. Like you can choose, do I want to financially support a new life? Do I want to emotionally be involved with them? Like there's many levels to parenthood, but sending a check is some level of helping parenting. So you should be able to choose at any point in time, even if you're a fucking asshole and do it after
to make sure I got this right,
you can still do it.
Since it's based around consent.
Yeah. It's morally wrong, but legally correct.
If you're married, you're with your wife, right? You're a man. You didn't consent, okay, to get her pregnant.
To having a baby.
Yeah, you didn't consent to having a baby. She got pregnant with your kid, even though you know sex leads to that.
Right.
Even though you're having unprotected sex.
Yeah.
You think it should be his right to opt out from raising the kid and pay no support, right?
Yeah, I think that morally, that's really shitty of him. I think it speaks a lot volumes about what a piece of shit he probably is. However, I don't think that man should, for the next 18 years, be forced to be into something if he didn't say to her, I'm intentionally getting you pregnant right now, I'm doing this on purpose, like this is what we want. Like if he told, because you are allowed to have sex with no intention of getting pregnant, that's, I think, a human right. I don't think you should be required to breed just because you're horny sometimes. Like, luckily for me, that's not an issue now. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think it morally sucks and would make me not like that person, but I don't think they should be financially, I don't think they should have their checks garnished. However, in the same token, they need to fuck off. They can't contact that woman. They can't be like, oh, 5 years from now, I want to see the babe. No. You made your bed, you lied in it. Like, that was the choice you made.
I actually would support this policy for a completely different reason than you would. But I actually would support it for a totally different reason.
I gave my son
because if men could absent pregnancy any time the same way that women can, or let's just give them the first 9 months, just like as a grace period. Fuck it, right? They get 9 months just like a woman gets 9 months. Let's just say you're
Ulysses the Pagan donated $200. Woman complain of men mansplaining all the time, but that's exactly what the panel is doing, I think she means. But when you do it, it's help stop it. Get some help.
So anyway.
Stop it.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Get some help.
So I was saying, I think let's just give him the same 9 month grace period, okay, after the kid is born. So he doesn't have any decision the 9 months the kid's gonna be born, right? So now he has the 9 months. Now we're totally fair across the board. And then that first 9 months, he's like, I don't like this. I don't consent. And he gets to walk, right? I think that sexual promiscuity would do that. Kind of overnight. So I'm kind of okay with moving towards such a policy, because I think that when women were left with the entailment of the decision of sexual intercourse and keeping the kid if they wanted to, but then could not compel a man to support them, I think that they would be a lot choosier about who they had sex with.
It boils down to two adults having open communication. That's all it is, because I hope, the people getting pregnant to have the option to choose to have these kids are adults. But I gave my son's father the choice. In the beginning, we were together, he wanted to be there. And then when it came time, while I'm pushing my child out, I gave birth to my son 6:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. I still have a screenshot to this day of my son's father being like, I don't want anything to do with y'all, stay away from me and my family, blah, blah, blah. 2 months later, he's back asking, oh, can I FaceTime him? Can I see you? Blah, blah, blah. I gave him the option about a year or two. You're either in it and going to help me take care of him, or you're going to fuck off and let me raise my child.
Yeah.
So it comes down to two adults who are willing and able to communicate. And I feel like if you can't communicate, why are you even having sex? Because you can't have sex without communicating.
Okay.
Wait, so just so I understand, and I do have to move this on.
Yeah.
Initially, he said he didn't want to be involved.
He initially said he wanted to be involved. He threw
then
a
he
party
backed.
with his family.
Then he kind of backed out.
Then
Okay.
I left because he was abusive. So I left
okay.
him,
All
and
right.
then, yeah.
The chick's a MILF.
Sorry, that was Nick who pressed that. What the hell, Nick? All right, I got to get through a couple of the chats here. So, okay, the Beacon.
It's so hot.
First off, buddy,
Very hot.
I do appreciate your patronage. We actually did ask your question. The question was, it was name one cis white heteronormative male who owes reparations. It was posed to the panel. Perhaps your question ought to be, I think it could perhaps have been a bit more clear. They pointed at me, and that was it. They answered your question, but just since you're spamming the chat, I'll ask it again, to be fair. The Beacon. So the question was, one second, let me just make sure I get it perfectly right. I can't even pull it up. Okay, here it is. Point to a heteronormative cisgendered white male of privilege who owes society reparations.
Ronald Reagan and trickle-down economics.
Okay, we'll go around the panel.
That's
Go
a
ahead.
good one. Point. I mean, as we someone in the room, then yeah. I guess I think that all white people and all people should be paying reparations in some way.
I feel like
say one person
if you are a white person who generationally comes from this country and your status wherever you are in this society was built off the backs of enslaved people, you do own reparations. If you were
Yeah, I agree with
If
that.
if you were a part of the colonization of all the original people of this
But what if
land.
what if I had a black ex-wife and took care of her for many years?
That's a
And
form of paying.
That's a form of reparations?
If you're respecting them, if you respect them as a person, that's uplifting a person in their community.
Okay.
Something a lot of black women don't.
So
get.
then I'm exempt.
I mean,
What should-
you would. Do, am I saying you have to like go send everybody
What
a
are the
monthly
reparations?
check? No, but I think reparations go further than financial. It's respect for the person as a person.
Okay.
It's,
All right.
You know, yeah.
All right, Beacon, I hope that satisfies you, dude. I asked it before.
We're not
I
going
asked
around the
it.
panel for that one.
I mean, okay, so, all right. Robert Tanner, end-of-life rates by men is 3.85 times the rate of women per the CDC in the U.S. White males is
Yeah.
68% of this per the CDC. If you need, confirm ASP.org, putting some facts in perspective
Yeah.
for this panel. Also curious, does the panel think this is moral, good, or right? Why are men doing this in much higher rates?
It's a great question.
Men do have a big load and weight on their shoulders to
Yeah.
be providers, but unfortunately that is a system that was set up by the men that came before them. You know, the men that built this country. I'm
it
not
though?
saying it's
Is it,
I was gonna
though?
say, it's kind
Wait, because I actually think there's a mating pressure that is directional from women to men.
Not all
that has-
women.
Oh, but let's just say it's even 50% of women. If it's 50% of women, that would preclude, assuming there's one-to-one partnering ratios, that would preclude 50% of men from being able to get into a relationship, marry, have children, reproduce. So if women's own standard, even if it's 50%, I actually think it's more than 50%, but let's just say it's 50% of women have an expectation that men pay for first dates, men be providers, men pay for dates into the relationship. Men are just generally providers throughout the entire course of the relationship. Then how is this actually, you said, but it's because of men. Wouldn't it actually be because of women due to a incredibly powerful mating pressure that's placed on men by women?
in this society, yes, evolutionary speaking, yes, but men set up and designed the system for women to stay home and be homemakers to need that from men. You know, women weren't women for thousands of years have been homemakers.
Women set that up the opposite way.
Women didn't build this country.
No, when women demanded the right to vote and they demanded the right to enter into the workplace, they doubled the labor force.
100%.
If you double something, it becomes less valuable.
Well,
The
that
commodity becomes less
again,
valuable.
it goes.
So now you need two incomes.
It goes
So hang
person
on,
by
but
person.
hang on. Let me finish my argument. So now you need 2 incomes to raise a family, whereas you only needed 1 income before. So the thing that's interesting about this is, well, kind of out of the one side, you say, well, wait a second, it's men's fault because the way society is currently geared.
I wouldn't say it's your fault.
Hang on,
I think it's
hang on.
the
Let
people
me
who built this
finish
country's
the
fault.
argument. Okay?
Go ahead.
Because that is what you're saying, and I can explain how. You're saying, wait a second, men put us in this conditional, right? Men did this because men were the ones traditionally who were in power. It's like, yeah, and under men, we only needed 1 income to support a family. Now we need 2 because women doubled the workforce and demanded to be in the workforce. So it's like, isn't that kind of what the doctor ordered then?
Women wanting the right to earn their own money without a man, because it doesn't necessarily have to, oh, we want the right to work. Just 'cause some women want to live without men. That's fine. But it completely ignores the fact of inflation and how over the years people are making significantly
women inflated
less.
the workforce. They inflated it massively. So what they did was now you have
men at war.
now you have a ton
giving her some bucker.
of entry-level women who could be paid less. And yes, there was a war, and a bunch of rich industrialists took advantage of this in order to push through an amendment that when it was put to women to vote on, their right to vote, they voted against it. Isn't that interesting?
No,
They
it is,
voted
yeah.
against it because they did not want to be interchangeable widgets with men. It was far preferable for them to live in a society where they did not have to work.
But that
And I
goes
guess
back
that
to
is bullshit.
choice.
Oh, what's bullshit?
I will say this is where they're right. Where the patriarchy of the past and the systems in place set it up so women were looking at crack open a history book. Women were second class,
Okay.
not in politics, not in the workforce, able to earn their own money, whatever it may be.
Open a bank account.
Exactly, dress a certain way, vote.
Hang on, that's true. But
You're
they
saying
also
women enabled it.
they also incurred absolutely no debt. They also had tons of societal privileges that
They
men
also
didn't have.
couldn't leave
got
Hang
a
on,
bed, you
hang
could-
on.
because they were
You gotta let me
dependent
finish
over
an
here.
argument.
I see
Can I
where your
finish
argument's
the?
going.
You don't even. Okay, then why don't you tell me my argument?
The whole point, though,
No.
was about
Let her
men
talk.
killing
Let her
them
talk.
or
Let her
unaliving
talk. Let her
themselves.
talk.
Okay.
Tell me my argument since you know it already.
You're trying to say that like women appreciate not having to work and stuff, and there are groups of
Nope,
women
that wasn't my argument. So
you
next
literally
time,
just-
since that's not my argument, next time I'm in the middle of
basically
making
said that
my
verbatim.
argument, please
Okay.
let me finish making it like I've done for you the whole night. That would be swell. Remember, there's one of me, there's tons of you. So anyway, back to the conversation we were having.
He talks to you like that?
Before, it's okay to cut me off, do whatever you want to me. If I
You
say
cut us
something
off
back,
too. You cut us off.
everyone.
You cut us off too.
There-
Okay,
how many of you are there?
You still cut us off, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. When you're having a conversation with 9
ahead,
people,
Mr. Ruffled
if you want to
Feathers.
get in the
So
conversation,
uptight.
sometimes you're going to have to be a bit aggressive. So anyway, as we're having this exchange, let's try this again. Here's my argument back to you. My argument back to you is, wait a second, you're only pointing out the cons to that, not the pros. So you're not pointing out the fact that women are still the most in debt in this nation. They incur the most, well, men slightly, but they really shouldn't be. Okay? The incurrence of debt from women was not even a thing. They could hold property. They absolutely could hold property. That's a complete myth. You made it up. They totally could hold property. Yes, they could. And tomorrow you'll learn this because I'm going to teach it to you. But yes, they absolutely could. 100% could hold property.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like you guys, like, do you really believe this stuff outside of the show? Like half of the
Yes.
stuff. Does your wife work?
My wife has a book called Occult Feminism. She's the best anti-feminist debater on the earth, on the planet.
What's it called again? I'm just interested in
What's
reading
It's called
her-
Occult Feminism.
Sounds
What's
like
her?
she's
I'm
perfect for you.
genuinely curious. What's the crux of her opinion, position?
Well, I was just telling you the crux of her opinions and positions.
Well, you weren't speaking for her. You were speaking for you. So I was just, asking you to
I think
differentiate.
they believe the same thing because they're
Yeah, what are you
very-
talking about?
Yeah.
She believes in the patriarchy.
I wouldn't be married to someone I didn't morally agree with.
Unlike whatever you have going on with your husband, mine's not allowed to go
Grid
flirt
One
with other
Motorsports
men.
donated
Right?
$200.
She's not allowed to do that.
Enough
He's just
woman
uptight
prattle.
and jealous.
Women could own property and have checking accounts. In 1907,
Guys, this
Hetty
is,
Green
like,
bailed
silly.
out Wall Street. Crack open a history book sometime. Stop buying into feminist lies.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
But do you
Thank
see
you, good
how
one.
like?
Thank you, good
do you
one.
see
Appreciate
how
it.
like? I mean, I suppose not because of your wife. And again, you both have your similar views, but just
Me and
how.
Andrew, by the way, me and Andrew don't agree on everything.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked too much. Go ahead.
No, it's good. I lost my train of thought.
Can I just say this whole thing is about suicide? Or sorry,
God damn,
I'm sorry.
bro.
I'm sorry. I forgot the word. What are we supposed to say?
Unalive.
Unalive. Sorry.
How are we
I
bringing
remember what
it
I was
back
going to
there,
say.
though?
No, I didn't bring it back there.
Isn't
So
that
I was
what we're
questioning.
talking
No,
about?
I was
But
bringing
I
it
thought we
to
were
a-
asking the question
No,
still.
I was bringing it to
already
actually a
moved
lighter
on.
Yeah, the
place.
conversation's
I didn't
gone past
know.
No, I was
That's what
bringing it to a
asking.
lighter place that on the whole, it's just unattractive. Like, why wouldn't
gives
you
you the
want
ick.
women to be?
It gives you the
See,
ick.
Did it not cut me off? Oh,
Just go.
what do
Just
you
go.
know?
Finish your point.
What cut me off? It's unattractive when a dude is advocating for women to be in these roles, put in their place. Like, it's just not cool or hot. Like,
Why does
wouldn't
anybody
you
give a
want
flying
guy?
fuck what you think is attractive or not? Why does anybody
If you're
give a
trying to-
flying
whole
fuck
thing
about
is-
what you think
this
is
whole thing
attractive?
is on the basis of mating. It's a dating show. What are we even saying? It's about men and women and gender dynamics. And for
That
a man
doesn't
to like
mean-
put women down like we're doing Harrison Bunker here, like what is this?
Let me
It's
see.
just
Let
like-
me get
but
this
that's-
right.
But you do.
Okay, well,
you
I
do-
think it's
you
unattractive.
do.
Women's liberation shit's totally unattractive. There you go. Touche.
Touche.
Yeah, the counter to, oh, it gives me the ick is, oh, well, also gives me the ick to the
It's
opposition.
just like makes you, not you just generalizing, because I see them in the comments too. It just makes you like a loser and small. It's like,
know.
what are you so threatened by women? That
I
it's
feel
like,
like it makes
again,
you-
it brings us back to the beginning. It's like you're in your power.
Yeah, but I
Or
feel like
what
it
do
makes you
have?
small-minded and dumb to not
That's
give an
not like
argument.
You. We can agree on something.
Yeah, I'm not sure though how it doesn't
knew
make
I'd
you
get us to
small-minded
agree.
and dumb to not give me an argument. And instead tell me about how you feel.
The argument is that not all women think like
Okay.
your wife. And so, as a feminist, I completely support your wife and whatever her ideology is. And she can go shout that from the rooftops for the rest of her life. And I'm going to applaud her if that's how she really feels. But it also means that me, who probably has a wildly different perspective than your wife, should also be allowed to speak and also be equally as heard. And we're all allowed to do whatever the fuck we want as long as we're not harming other people.
No,
That
that's
is
not
the
true.
point.
In fact, you can't.
As long as I'm not harming anyone,
No.
I'm going to live my life the way I want.
No, even
I'm not harming
even
anyone by
now,
doing my
you
life.
would not advocate that that is true. For instance, okay, in the middle of the night, you know nobody's around. Okay, you know it for sure. You blow through a fucking stop sign. Okay, even though there's nobody around, is a cop justified in stopping you?
I mean, yes, he is, but like,
Well, I'm sorry, but you didn't harm anybody. You knew you wouldn't. Didn't even have the potential to
but
harm
that's
them.
the thing, though, is you actually don't know. That's the whole point of those
No, no,
traffic
no,
laws.
you
Is
know.
you don't know if you're going to harm someone. Because
You
if the
do
light's
know.
red, you don't necessarily know if someone's coming around the bend. That's why it's
know.
red.
This particular one,
That's-
you know. You're
What-
in a 2-stoplight town, man, and you know there ain't nobody on the road. You know 100% there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And within the confines of the hypothetical, is he justified in pulling you over?
Of course.
Of course. So
Yeah.
if he's justified in pulling you over, then no, this idea of I can do what I want as long as I hurt nobody
But
else.
the thing is, by
that
obtaining
is not
a
how
driver's
society
license,
works.
I agreed to those rules of
Wait,
society.
you need a driver's license? I thought you could do whatever you want unless it's hurting someone else. Why can't you drive without a driver's license? You're not hurting anybody.
You are, because in order to get a license, you need to learn to drive. The
Why can't you
definition
learn to
of
drive
driving
without a
without an
license?
education.
I'm sorry, you
without-
can't learn to
Well,
drive
that's
without a
the
license?
whole. I think what the whole point is.
No,
we don't
hang on.
know what
Let me
is a
finish
good
the argument
solution.
with
No,
her.
you
Hang
keep
on.
cutting me off. Like the point of
She cut you off.
Actually, she's furthering my point, and I really appreciate what she said. You're cutting me off. Anyway,
He was trying to let you finish, just for
I
clarity.
was trying to let you finish. She cut you off. You
Go ahead.
blame
I
me.
interjected.
Go ahead, go ahead.
didn't
I
interrupt.
appreciate Liza's interjection, and my
Well, I don't appreciate her interjection, but
Okay.
anyway, go
Well,
ahead.
we're not- So my point is that like if you just get behind the wheel of a car and you've never driven one before, it's likely you're going to crash it. So anyone should have the right to drive as long as they learn to drive. Anyone should probably have the right to own a gun as long as they know how to use a gun and they don't have a history of murdering people with guns. Like, we should have the right to go after whatever life we want. But like, do I want to be a heart surgeon? I don't. But like, let's say I wanted to be a heart surgeon. I should have every opportunity in this world to become one. Does that mean I get to just call myself one? I still have to learn how to do it, or I could harm someone's body in the process. So in order to not harm others, I need to get educated before I take on that role.
So
but we should be able to do whatever we want. But some things in the world you need education to do.
Yeah, so to get
but
this...
you should have the right to educate
got
yourself.
It. So to get this right, here's your actual argument back to you, okay? You should be able to do whatever you want as long as we tell you can do it. You can do whatever you want as long as you have a license and you go through the proper authorized authorities to tell you now you can do what you want.
Right.
Do you believe that with licensing, medical licensing, private licensing, licensing for guns, licensing to drive an automobile, licensing to fly a plane, licensing for everything? You
So
probably believe that you should have licensing to own a home because after all...
No, I don't, because owning a home isn't going to put me in jeopardy of killing other people. Doing open heart surgery when I have no knowledge on how to do it could make me kill someone. That's the difference.
Wait. Everything you do in life can have the potential of a negative ramification to harm somebody else. Everything.
And when I'm talking about harming,
hang on. Let me finish my point. Everything you do in life has the potential to do this. If that is true, and you have to agree with me that that is true, what you're actually not saying to me is you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. You're saying you should be able to do anything you want as long as we collectively feel that your potential to hurt other people is mitigated. And so that actually requires rigorous government interference and rigorous not letting you do what you want.
It's not letting you do what you want, it's preparing you to do what you want. If you want to fly a plane, I think no matter if you're a woman, if you're black, if you're whatever age, as long as you pass the physical test that says, yeah, you have the eyesight and hearing abilities or whatever, and you're not going to jeopardize other people's lives on the plane. If you pass
amputee?
What was that?
Quadruple amputee?
I mean, they probably couldn't fly a plane.
I just want to check.
It's like, but that's what I'm saying is like, it's so funny how you're trying to make this something like if anyone in the world wants to be a pilot or a heart surgeon, I believe they should have every opportunity to become one. Does that mean as a society we have no standards? We do have standards. So
we stop people from doing what they want?
Stop interrupting me. Shut up, dude. Stop interrupting me. So let's say...
Well, you can't go for hours either.
I'm not going for hours. It's been about a minute and a half.
Go.
Anyway, so like if there is some poor person of color who dropped out of school, didn't have the resources, like grew up in they grew up in a group home, like they don't have the same opportunities as someone who grew up in a wealthy family who's going to pay for their college education, let's say. Like I think that person, if they have a dream of being a pilot, they should be able to work hard enough and be given the opportunity to learn to be a pilot. It doesn't mean that because they imagine they're a pilot, they get to be one. But if you're like, I want to be a pilot, I'm going to be like, I don't care where you come from, what you look like. Here's the resources to learn to study. And if you put your time into that and you learn and study, then congratulations, you deserve to be one.
No,
that's that.
Okay, but this, again, doesn't even begin
It's not stopping them from
to
being a
address
pilot.
my
It's
argument.
just teaching them to be one before they do it.
My turn, right? So, one more time. This is my actual argument. Try to address the argument I make, not the one that you wish I made, and then address that argument. The argument that I'm making is that is not do what you want as long as you're hurting nobody else. That is, you can do what you want as long as we license you to do it and we rigorously vet you to do it. And after we have rigorously licensed you and vetted you, then you can do it. And if you don't do it that way, you go to fucking jail. That is not do what you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else. That is sloganeering bullshit.
No, because
bullshit
if I decided to just take 20 people and get on a plane and...
STFU and try using logic. You can fly a plane without a license.
Right, so,
Without hurting
okay, so let me take this. I don't know if you have kids or not, but let's say you have 3 toddlers at home right now. And let's say a random man off the street who's never flown a plane in his life said to you, hey, I'm going to take your kids on my plane. I want to go for a joyride. Would you feel comfortable with that? Or would you rather go on a flight with someone who you know?
Yeah, fuck no,
learned?
I'm not doing that.
Right, because you have standards. It's not that no one can be a pilot, but if you're going to entrust...
Am I advocating you should be able to do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody, or are you advocating that?
I am, and
okay, well then why are you giving me an internal critique?
I think that person should be able to be a pilot. I think they just need to learn how to be one.
Me an internal critique about a position I don't even hold.
Because you're stating that by my logic, any random person should be able to be a pilot.
Yeah, by your logic of you can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else is not even a standard you yourself believe. I just demonstrated it. No, you believe in over-the-top rigorous licensing for fucking everything. What are you talking about?
I don't believe in rigorous licensing for owning a home. Like you just gave owning a home as an example. I don't think anyone needs to have licensing to own a home.
Okay, what about owning?
To open someone's chest and
No,
do surgery?
you do.
You
Listen,
should be licensed.
by the way, you cut me me off when I was making that argument. No, you do believe you need a license when you own a home. For instance, if you want to add on to your home, have a structure.
Yeah, I know about permitting.
Yeah, do you think we should have permitting for that?
I mean, Santa Barbara's permitting laws, I actually highly disagree with. It depends on this. That's a very
not my question.
county by city basis.
Yeah, that's not my question. Do you think that the government should be empowered to come in and tell you how you're going to be able to zone your own house if they consider any type of public danger, even if it's just a perception?
If they perceive that the structure you're building is going to cave in on itself and kill the people living in it, then sure. That's why you have to learn to be a
doing
construction
whatever
worker.
they want. They're doing whatever they want, and they're not hurting anybody else.
But they are by building something they don't know how to build. That is harming people.
Wait a second.
So they're going to learn
living
to
in their
build
own
it or
house?
hire someone who knows how, and then still. That's what I'm saying.
That's
if you want to
super
add on to
weird.
your house,
That's
you
super
can add
weird.
on to your house.
So you live
but
by
you just
yourself.
need to do it in a safe way.
So you live by yourself on a hill, right? And you build your own structure. The government comes in and says, nope, you got to have a permit for that because you might harm yourself. Great, but your argument is you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Who cares if they're going to harm themselves?
No, I'm saying if they want to add on to the house, they can still add on to the house. They just literally need to do it in a safe way.
So they just need to rigorously be vetted and licensed in order to do what they want.
For certain things in the world, certain things in the world
So you
are
absolutely
unsafe.
don't believe that people should be able to do whatever they want as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
I believe if you want to add on to your house, you can add on to your house. Just do it in a safe
Every single
way.
example that you give requires licensing, rules, regulations, and people interfering with your life before you can do the thing that you want.
Part of not
that
being
doesn't
a
hurt
caveman.
anybody else.
We live in a society.
The opportunity.
That's why you can't
Right,
just walk
you know
down the
what?
street
I
and murder
agree. We
people.
live in a
We have
society. That's why I
standards.
wouldn't make such a ridiculous argument as you can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else, because that's sloganeering. That's not true.
The ideal. I think
That's
she's
taking
saying
it
it's
too
more of
literal.
the ideal, though, and not what.
No, it's not taking it too literal.
You're interrupting.
But it's okay.
I'm sorry, I was responding to her.
I just think that it's.
Stay safe.
What does that mean?
Maddie,
Thank you for the raid. Stay safe. Welcome, guys. Go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch. It's a quick, free, easy way to support the show.
Tell Stay Safe, tell Matt. I hope he had a good stream.
Matt.
I hope he got a bunch of levels in World of Warcraft.
Matt, Brian hopes you. We all hope you had a good stream, and we hope you get levels in World of Warcraft.
Good
Yeah?
job.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
No, I just think that we're the bigger issue is that should we have free will or not? I mean, that's, you know what I mean? It depends on what you believe in that way, because I don't personally want the government involved, but that's the system we have already. So how do we work with what we have? You know what I'm saying? I don't agree. Like, I don't necessarily agree with the exact way of, I think you should be able to build something on your own property in the middle of nowhere and be able to make your own decisions. But it's confusing because not that I know the right answer, but because I don't know how to bridge this space, because it's about, too, what do you believe as moral and not? Like,
Right.
what's good and bad in your perspective? That's different for everybody. So how can you ever find a real solution? Which you're saying, which I hear, correct me if I'm wrong, what I hear you saying is go with the majority, but then what happens to the people that are not the majority?
I didn't give a position.
Okay, no, that's why I said correct me if I'm
all
wrong.
I was doing is
Yeah.
pointing out that often I hear sloganeering from people, like in this regard. People should be able to do whatever the hell they want as long as they're not hurting anybody else. But then when you test that, you find out they don't fucking believe that shit at all. They don't believe that they shouldn't be able to knock the gun out of their, kids' hands so that they don't unalive themselves. They don't believe that they shouldn't be able to smack the pills out of their daughter's hands so they can't. They don't believe for a second that they shouldn't be allowed to do that. The thing is when you take it from the conceptual to the practical, you realize, no, we really got to kind of interfere a lot in people's lives.
No, and that I totally
And we have to
agree.
do it all the time. And we have to do it for very good and specific reasons.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Atlas Shrugged?
Yeah, with Ayn Rand.
Yeah. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is that Ayn Rand was a giant cope fiend, right? She was coping the entire time that she was banging a guy who was 20-something years younger than her, because what she did was she took all the rich industrialists and she made them the heroes of the story, which is fucking insane, and then they came and saved society. So it's like the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life, but
Wow.
that's what I think of it. Yeah.
I'm trying to get to, and you may have gotten
Remember how the rich industrialists came in and saved a society from, nothing ever? Instead, they have micro-engineered and fucked it up every possible way that they can by essentially creating lobbying groups that go and commission the government to go after whatever their private interests are by fucking over all the rest of us. That's what rich industrialists usually do.
Okay. I mean, I personally think Ayn Rand is, a hero in autonomy, individualism.
Well, Atlas shrugged and your brain fell out, right? As the old libertarian saying goes.
So for the majority who don't agree with Christians or, your view on how this country should be, where are they left?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So people who don't align themselves with Christian values or views with the freedom of religion in this country, where are they left being represented or supported by this country?
It's going to be the same exact place where anybody would be left if they refuse to follow the rigorous morals and the tailorings that society produces for them. The same place that you would be left in Japan if you weren't following their cultures, customs, and rituals. The same places that you would be left anywhere, right?
Is this not a melting pot of a country with different values?
He doesn't
does not.
He doesn't.
This does not in any way.
He would do great with the CCP.
Okay, so anyway.
Would he not?
This does not in any way deter from this idea. We are a melting pot. Sure. Does this mean that you would import tons and tons and tons of people who thought that murder was okay?
No, because that's...
Right. So
not...
so if they don't coincide with your values, it's okay for you to exclude them. And so this is the thing, is like, we think the same exact thing. We think it's perfectly acceptable that if the majority has these beliefs inside of a democracy, which is what liberals claim they love, that if we take that democracy over and impose our world like liberals are doing to us, there's no problem with that.
But no, because there's no law saying murder is okay.
What would that have to do with anything?
Because you said we can import a bunch of murderers into this country, they have the choice to murder and there's going to be consequences that you face.
No, you're missing the idea here. Let's assume that you could import the value of murderers to the point where they became a serious voting bloc. They could then, theoretically, impose their will via democracy by voting in people who then made murder legal, right?
Like Christians?
So, are you going to answer my question, or?
I'm just saying what you're saying.
The abortionists think the Christians are the murderers. Okay.
No.
So anyway,
no one
back
ever
to
said that.
Well, that's what you just said.
No, I didn't.
You said like Christians when I was referencing murderers.
No, you said forcing people to have these views, and I said like Christians in comparison.
Yeah, I don't know
when
why.
You said, we're going to import murderers here because they'll have a bigger influence. I'm just trying to finish and get this thought out. So we're going to import murderers here so they can have a vast influence on the voting majority. Like Christians, right? Because Christians, you say, are the majority, and their laws should rule
or liberals, or women who are the majority, or whoever. It doesn't matter.
It's not a perfect country for everybody, but it shouldn't be based off a single religion.
Why? Why not? Because you just don't like it, right?
No, it goes against everything this country was built off of, right?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Who built the country? A bunch of white Christians?
With the freedom to practice religion.
Yeah.
And the laws you're voting
First of all, the reason that there was an allowance of the practice of religion, you couldn't be a Catholic. You couldn't even come to this country if you were a Catholic. You couldn't even come. The reason is because Protestantism is divided. They did not ever think that this was going to be a non-Christian nation.
But
none of our founders ever thought that.
Christians demand a lot of respect from people they don't respect themselves.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
If you don't believe in God, you're going to hell.
So?
That goes against spiritual people. Why is your religion the most important out of the hundreds out there?
Right.
Why should you be heard and no one else?
I'll explain.
The most important.
So
why is
I'm going
to
to explain so that you understand.
Things. That's
right?
what I'm wondering.
Oh, I understand.
I don't think you do because
why you think
because I'm granting your worldview. I'm saying let's assume Christianity is the worst. It's like the worst.
I never said it was the worst.
I know. Let us assuming. We're going to assume it. We know it's not true. We're just going to pretend for a second so that we can do this hypothetical that it is. So we pretend Christianity is the very worst religion ever. Mm-hmm. And you import into your atheist country a bunch of Christians who tell you, we want to definitely impose our Christian will on your atheist values, okay?
Okay.
If you import them into your democracy in significant numbers, and then they begin to multiply, right? They could feasibly, inside of your democracy, begin to elect politicians who share their values, right?
That's
And if they share their values, they're going to implement the law based on the values they share with that now largest voting bloc, right?
Okay.
So if they do that, what actually would be the fundamental problem with that?
Christians don't run America. Are you the majority? Sure. But I doubt all the Christians out there agree with the extreme right-wing views that you are portraying that they have. Because it's not all Christians, right? It's just like it's not all men. It's not all Christians. There are Christians out there who love thy neighbor, right? They love thy neighbor and they love you regardless of what you choose to do, and they're not going to force you. Are they going to sit there and because they love you, their way of loving you is teaching you about their God, right? But they're not going to force it on you.
Can I? Okay, I'm going to piggyback. So this whole thing started with why do men, from a viewer question, why do men die by, you know what, no, we're not allowed to say it, at a higher rate. And I've noticed in my adult life how men namely, and I have many close to me, who grew up in a very highly religious, some cult-like, some, deep Christianity, have some serious
Thank you, Robert
issues now, right? Because of the confines that they were forced to be in. And as grown adult men, they can't cope. They're still figuring it out and learning their way. So I'm trying to understand how you rationalize why you can't even, I get it, you have really rigid views, but why you can't see that. Secondly,
Well, let's do one at a time.
And also,
that's fine.
let's actually do just one.
Okay.
And let's have Andrew answer in about a minute,
So when
because I
you're-
want to move this on.
When you're
Fair enough,
when you're talking about the rigidity in views, how have I been rigid? I've answered every question asked of me, dove into each worldview that you've given me, and shown where the flaws in them are. That is a lack of rigidity. That is me being completely fluid in ideology, so that I can internally critique from where you're coming from. What's really hilarious here, none of you have seemed, maybe her, right? She's a smart one because she's quiet, but I'm kidding, I'm joking. But anyway, none of you seem to be able to do the opposite for me. None of you seem to be able to put yourself here. Hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Hold on.
I'm almost done.
And actually, none of you even get to respond because he has final word. I have to move it on. It's been too long.
So anyway, none of you even seem to be able to put yourself in my shoes to hear what I'm saying, to even hear what I'm saying, because she responded to an argument I didn't even make twice. And then when I come over to you, when you're asking me this question, you say, I don't understand. It's these Christian men who grow up in these rigid households. Okay, I'm sorry, but Christian men, they're the stability of society, least crime rate. Hang on.
No, I'm going to move it on. I have to move it on.
No, I'm going to demonstrate real quick, okay? As far as crimes go, as far as commission of crimes, as far as being in poverty, as far as all of these things, those Christian men from two-parent Christian households have the best outcomes in all of those regards. The ones that come from the single mom alternative households, not so great.
What about the priests?
Not doing so hot.
No.
What about the priests?
Well, with women, you're so pro.
Now, by alternative, I didn't even mean
His-
LGBTQ.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying
was just saying I grew up in a
anything
nuclear
alternative to the
He's just
two-parent
by
household
rigid.
usually has.
He's
Yeah.
super patriarchy. Your wife wouldn't even be able to write her book or live her
Okay,
expression.
They-
in other countries, in Iran, these girls aren't even educated. They're
Women
not
have
allowed
been
to go to
writing books
school.
for hundreds of years under the patriarchy.
It's okay. He'll find a thing
Feminism
for
had some of the most prolific writers pre-suffrage. Those were the best writers. The shit writers came after suffrage. So they were cruising around with this evil patriarchy who was oppressing them, writing all kinds of books, traveling the world. They really had it rough. They had it rough. It
I
was
do
a
have
tough
to move
time
things
for
on.
women.
I have to move things on. So I need to do a couple things here. Robert Tanner. One sec, guys.
There
Hold
was
on.
a great question: capitalism or
We're doing the
communism.
devil's
So you're
job.
communist,
Hear that?
socialist?
Can you stop? Can you stop? Okay.
No, he doesn't like capitalism. He doesn't like Ayn Rand capitalism.
So, Robert Tanner, thank you for the gifted 50 memberships. Also, thank you for the 10.
Can't wait to get into that.
Time permitting, I need to get through my own notes here. So, Robert Tanner. By the way, thank you for this one. This came in already. We already read it. I just wanted to point out, anybody watching, maybe if you're new to the stream, we do also have it through Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/whatever. If it's through TTS, we're going to get to it a little quicker. We do prioritize Streamlabs messages. But Robert Tanner, thank you for your super chat, for the gifted memberships. Thank you for your patronage. Very much appreciate it. Thank you, Tanner. Let me just close those out. Hold on, let me get through the chats first. We have Valdiv. It comes down to morals and ethics. You do know most atheists hold Christian morals and ethics. Look at what has happened to Europe this past 8 years or so. Jordan Peterson articulates it better. Okay, thank you, Valdiv. Good to see you back in the chat. Thank you for the Streamlabs message. Appreciate it. And then we have to go to Twitch. If you pull that up really quick. Guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever. Stay safe. Thank you again for the raid. Guys, if you're still watching from that Stay Safe raid, just quickly drop us a follow, guys. We stream. We do these dating talks. Oh my God, almost 2,000 viewers just on Twitch. Woo. We do these streams every Sunday and Tuesday, and we've had Stay Safe on the show. We're going to have him back very soon. So stay safe. Shout out. Thank you for the raid. And then, guys, Prime sub is probably bugged. It's been 10 minutes since we last got Prime, so help. I think it's bugged or something. I don't know. Check it out. What's that? This would be a good little moment to actually plug debateuniversity.com. Scroll up to the top, please. Guys, if you enjoyed these back and forths, me and Andrew have teamed up to release a program called Verbal Combat. If you want to learn how to be a master debater, debateuniversity.com. There are 80 plus videos, about 6 hours of content, of instruction. We do also offer members only group with monthly live Q&As with Andrew, debateuniversity.com. If you want to learn how to think, debate, craft arguments, and just frankly debate like Andrew Wilson, got to get the course, Verbal Combat, debateuniversity.com. Okay, let's see.
You guys should debate each other on it.
We have debated each other on the show.
Yeah, we've debated each other.
Do you disagree or agree more?
We disagree on a lot of fundamental
disagree a lot.
Yeah.
Disagree a lot.
Okay.
Like Andrew, he likes pineapple on pizza.
Yep.
Like
no, that's Brian.
actually, we agree.
Unacceptable.
I think I kind of agree with him on that one pretty much. But
It took us a minute, but we got there.
There's a lot to get through. I have a lot of notes. I want to try to get through everything. Make sure we cover everything. So we do have to ask for. We got this question from Stifler. Okay. Ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Bringing it back to dating a little bit. Can't pick 7.
Go.
Can't pick 7. I do need to get grid ones after this. Grid 1 sent in a question. So going around the table, starting with you, rate your looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Can't pick 7.
9 out of 10.
Okay. What about you?
Say 6.
Oh, into the mics, guys.
Oh,
you gotta
sorry.
be into the
I
mics.
would say 6.
Okay.
I would say
say-
7, but I can't.
7. Oh, I can't. 6. Yeah.
I would honestly give myself a 10 now because this is the first time in my life I've authentically been happy and joyous,
Yeah.
and my smile is real. So I think I'm beautiful because I'm happy, not because I think I'm hot shit. But yeah.
So just to clarify, though, it's not rate your happiness on a scale of 1 to 10.
I think my happiness
one
makes
the
me
same.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I think you can see the joy on my face and how content and peaceful I am with my life choices, and that's what makes me beautiful.
While I would agree with you that somebody who has a positive disposition, it might actually, improve their, if someone's got a scowl all the time, they might not appear as physically attractive, but...
When I was living a life I wasn't comfortable with, out of both survival / trying to impress men, I think I was uglier because I was trying to be someone I'm not. I'm authentically exactly how I feel, and that's what makes me beautiful. And that's Liza's a 10 out of 10 for the record for me. So
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. What about you?
So I'm gonna agree and kind of dovetail off of that. You guys know that Trump meme where he's like an A+? Can I go higher than that? It's so funny. Not to sound cocky, but my philosophy and my show motto is kind of what you're talking about is boobs out, brains out, and women being both things. So I do agree with her in that they come together, and women stepping into their power in both is just the best thing. So with that being said, it's a little cheesy, I guess, but yeah. A+,
didn't-
12 out of 10. Stifler's mom. I am the MILF of the group, as we established earlier. So there we go. Stifler's mom. It all came together.
So 10.
Sure.
12.
Okay.
I said 12 technically.
All right. What about you?
I'm going to say solid 6.
All right. Solid 6. What about you?
A 5.
Andrew?
Yeah, 4.
I give myself a 5.
That's it.
So we have a 9, 10, 10. One quick follow-up. Do you guys think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time than you do now? Starting with, we'll ask everybody this. Actually, go ahead.
I feel like I was beautiful in a different way at 20.
You're too far. You're too far from the mic.
I was beautiful in a different way at 20. I look even better than I did at 20, and I'm gonna be beautiful in a different way at 40.
Okay, so
I have good genes.
So you're 30.
Yes.
So you will be better looking at 40 than you are now at 30, correct?
I don't think better is the right word. I'll be different and beautiful in a different way.
So, but that's not what I'm asking. I'll even grant that you may very well be still attractive at 30. But I'm asking if you will be more attractive at 40 than you are now at 30.
Honestly, with my track record, I get hotter every year, so it's possible.
And then to be just going back, one point of clarification, you consider yourself more attractive now at 30 than you were at 20.
Yes. I learned what works for me and what looks best
You
on
do
me.
actually have a TikTok on this. Nick, can you pull that up? It's like a photo one. I don't know exactly which one, but it's like a photo. I got it. You got it? Okay, pull it up.
Yeah, go ahead and pull it out. I look real good.
All right.
I don't know my name.
Just refresh.
I can pull it up on my phone.
Can you refresh? Just mute the audio. Will you be better looking at 50 as compared to 30?
Maybe.
It's still not letting me full screen.
Just pull it up. Just pull it up. Hold on.
20.
Go back. Hold on. Why is it not?
I know, it's not working for some reason.
Okay, I'll come behind the scenes to try to figure that out. But you just pull it up. Okay. And then there's the next one, realizing I don't look 21 anymore. So that's you at 21. Next.
Slay.
Love. Yeah.
Okay. So better looking at 50
Maybe.
than you are now at 30?
If I keep my skincare regimen, yes.
What about 60? Better
I'm
looking
gonna be
at...
a hot tattooed gilf.
Sure, you might still be hot.
Better looking
Maybe.
as to my current day and age?
Yeah, comparatively.
Maybe not.
60 is kind of where it would, you think it would, that's when it goes downhill?
Botox
60?
is a life sin. Like, it's a
Okay.
lifesaver.
All right.
Love it.
What about you? Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years than...
I do because I got sober. I'm working on my health. I truly think being healthy on the inside and that I'm doing that now. I wish I'd started earlier in my earlier 20s and maybe not have ever gone down that path. But now that I am, I do think I will look better because I looked rougher in my...
Wait, just one point of clarification. You've recently started to get healthy.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, within the last...
And then when you were like much younger, you were very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay. But if it's just recently that you've started to try to become more healthy, wouldn't that just have been a gradual accumulation over time?
I think I guess it could be, but I think... I'm more talking about, I don't want to get into all the details, but how I treat myself. And I think that by
Are you talking like drug use?
drug use, eating disorders, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I just think for me personally, if older people that have in their 40s have told me they know now who paid attention and took care of themselves in their 20s and who didn't. So
Wear
that's
your
kind
sunscreen.
of what I am thinking about is I think at some point I will be more attractive. I think 33 is going to be my prime. That's what I'm, whatever.
Okay.
But I do think everyone ages and it goes downhill in some way.
So will you be more attractive in 10 years' time? So 38 as
10
compared
years,
to now
38.
28.
Yeah, I think that'll be at the beginning of the decline, but
Okay.
I think I'll still look pretty good. And I don't know.
What about 48?
48. I think that'll look good, but not. It's just different.
Sunscreen.
Yeah.
No, and
And are you better looking now at 28 than you were at 18?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
For
Okay.
sure.
What about you?
I think I will, yeah. But I'm also pretty young in comparison to a lot of other people at the table.
So you're 22. So do you think you'll be better looking at 32 than you are now?
I'm 23, but yeah,
Didn't you say- I
I know.
wrote down
My
22.
birthday was really recent, so
Okay,
I
that's
messed
fine.
up myself.
Okay, so you're
That's my
23.
bad.
Will you be better looking at 33?
I do, but that's just, I have a lot of friends that are in their 30s, and I've seen pictures of them at 21 and 31, and I'm like, damn, y'all really matured, and it looks really good. But I do think there's a point where it will decline, of course, yeah.
43?
yeah, I think, of course, after 30, like, I think it will start to decline.
But so
from
will you be
there,
more
know?
attractive at 43 than you are now at 23?
I don't think so, no.
What about you? You can scoot into the table a bit. That's probably causing some issues.
I know. My back was hurting, so I was sitting up against the chair. Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I think that as long as I continue on the path that I'm on right now, I think every year of I can't wait to age. I can't wait to turn gray. I can't wait to I can't wait to grow old with Liza. I can't wait, like, every year. And I gotta say, like, everyone who knows me in my personal life, the last 6 months to a year, I consistently get told they've never seen me happier. They've never seen my skin lighter. They've never seen me smile. So, and I think it's just going to continue because I love what I'm doing and I'm not going to stop. So,
well, not totally an answer to the question, but so you're 27. Do you think you'll be better looking at 37 than you are now?
Because I'm going to be a mom by then and even happier. I'm going to just keep doing
Ulysses
more.
the Pagan donated $200. Woman in the red, no, of course you won't. Better looking, you will droop. In fact, that bird tat will turn into a pterodactyl.
And the beautiful thing about that, though, is I no longer live a life that's centered around men's opinions of me. All that matters to me is how me and my wife feel about me, and I know that we both think each other are beautiful. So all those comments are kind of a joke to me because I'm going to go home and have a fucking awesome night, and that guy's probably going to jack off alone
Can
like
we
a
see
loser.
your face shop, Ulysses?
I love my life, and I think I feel beautiful, and I think I'm going to feel more beautiful every year.
So...
Like, do you guys want to get laid or not?
Yeah, I'm happy in my life. I could care less if he thinks I look like a pterodactyl or whatever. I mean, I don't want him.
Share.
The answer
Can I respond to her?
Yeah.
No. Okay, it's below the threshold. So the question is, will you be better looking at 37 than you are
Yes.
at 27?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going to be
40,
more joyful.
47?
Yeah. Every decade that I keep doing what I want to do with my life, and every decade I keep loving my wife and my future children and keep loving myself and taking care of myself, sure, my skin will get wrinkly, my hair will get gray, but I find so much beauty in that when you can see that you've loved yourself through that. So I'm so excited to turn 30 now. Like, when I was in my earlier 20s, especially as a sex worker, I was kind of scared of, I'm not going to be attractive anymore. I could care less. I feel beautiful. So.
Wait, one really quick question to interrupt all this. You can just do a show of hands. Have you guys ever seen a beautiful girl with a mid guy?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just do quick yes or no.
Yes.
Does it repeat it? We missed it.
Yes, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Going to you, you're 33. Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time at 43?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
What about 53?
I do. I look much different. I had my baby fat. I actually went on, I call it Operation Sex Goddess Body. My viewers know, but I went on a really, that's right. The irony is there's no operations involved, but I went on a really intense mission fitness journey to sculpt the body I wanted, almost like an athlete. It was we're all about the journeys, aren't we? And you're along with me for the journey. Oh, this guy. So I allowed me to step into a whole new power I didn't even know. And so and to implement later on, I have everything going now for 40s, 50s.
So better looking 43, better looking 53, 63?
Sure.
As compared to now at 33?
63, but
53,
40,
yes.
Sure.
Okay.
60 might be.
And were you better looking at 23 than you are now at 33?
No, because of everything I just said, no. I had a major glow up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you're you're 21. Do you think you'll be better looking at 31 than you are now?
I think so, yeah.
41?
Yeah.
51?
Yeah.
Better looking at 51 than at 21?
Probably not, no.
Well, you just said yeah.
Wait, sorry, I was confused.
Okay.
Can you restate your question?
So, okay, you're 21?
Yeah.
Better looking at 31?
Yes.
Better looking at 41?
Maybe, yeah.
Better looking at 51?
Probably not. That's like after menopause.
Okay. Yeah. What about you?
I'm hotter at 30 than at 20 because I was fat and was really fat, but I'm not going to be hotter at 40.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. These are certainly interesting answers. I guess one question, though. Do you guys think that there's no objectivity when it comes to beauty?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. Which way?
A standard that most people, you can look at someone and have a general idea that, yes, they're an attractive person, even if I'm not attracted to them. I can see that. Like, I can see attractiveness in men, even though I don't want to sleep with them. Like, this, it's the same kind of thing. But I do think that people have preferences, and that will sway how they feel.
Like, nobody else has to consider me a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 for it to make me happy. I consider myself that, but beauty is objective. Everyone finds something else beautiful, so no one else has to find me that beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I don't really need anyone else to tell me or confirm my thinking.
Yeah, everyone has their flavor. Although there are universal.
Yeah, there's a universal beauty standard.
Yes, and you put them side by side. You know, women,
again,
big lips, big eyes,
So let
men,
me,
chiseled jaw, but.
Yeah, let me follow up on this one. So, have you guys ever heard of the idea of the wisdom of the crowd? So it works something like this. Say you're at a fair, right, and you had one person guess the weight of a cow, right? They're probably going to be radically off by sometimes much as 100, 200 pounds. But if you take 1,500 people or 100 people, then you average the answer, it gets a lot closer to whatever that weight is, okay? It's an interesting phenomenon, whether it's true or not, right? It's an interesting phenomenon. If you were to take 1,000 random men, and they were all just rating you purely on looks, not on your glow, not on how happy you are, nothing, just purely on looks, what do you think that collective average answer would end up being from those 1,000 men?
Now, is it men who are basing off our looks just visually, knowing nothing about us?
Nothing else.
There could be an average answer. Depends if they like blondes, brunettes, whatever their preferences was. If they like...
They just have the same general preferences you think they have.
Well, that's very broad.
I don't even
but,
know if they want.
Yeah, it is. It's very broad. Whatever you think the general preference...
I feel like...
You're just taking a sample of 1,000, right? And then you're just going to average all of their answers and hit on a number. What do you think that number would end up being for you?
I have two different answers. I'll just give my first one. But I feel like the average answer for me could be a 7.
Do you think it would average out to a 6 or a 7?
Anywhere from 6 to 8. Depends on what about me they initially found attractive or unattractive.
Okay.
Or it also, it's a broad subjective statement because it goes both ways for women. It's, some men don't like to let women feel beautiful, so they'll give a lower answer. Not all. It's just some men. And
well, I'm just going to assume, for the sake of this, that they're all honest.
All on, yeah.
They're all being totally honest.
Could be anywhere from a 6 to 8. In reality, could be anywhere from 1 to 10. Because someone who finds me beautiful, another person could be like, I don't like that bitch.
So then, what about you?
I mean, I would say the same thing. I think I would probably choose like a 6 or a 5 for myself. But I also, in my daily dress, do not amplify or try to cater to the male gaze, honestly. So I think it would be less purely because of that. But in a situation where I'm actually catering to, I was a bartender, so that was a big part of my job. So in those situations, it might go up because I'm doing what I think they want. But I don't really know what they want. I don't really care.
6 probably again, yeah. Like I rated myself a 6. I think it'd somewhere fall around 6 or 7.
You think they would average you out to a 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think men would probably find me average. I mean, it's hard to say because as someone who did OnlyFans and was actually pretty successful, I was successful in the niche of guys who loved petite women. Like, I don't have big boobs, I don't got a big ass. So there was totally men who body shamed me and acted like I was trash just because I look like this. But there's also men that said I was their dream woman because of my body.
Yeah, but
so
I'm just asking
not sure.
specifically.
It's hard because the internet confused me what men think because that was a crazy experience to go through. But I think probably average. I know people like big asses and I don't have that. So
you don't think they'd rate you a 10, in other words?
Maybe. I mean, I don't. Some men have told me I'm a 10 on OnlyFans, so I don't know.
I would agree that. I would agree that there's going to be men.
I think if I'm trying to dress for the male gaze, I can be closer to a 10. I think if I'm being myself, they probably don't notice me.
Okay.
Like Liza said. Yeah.
I would say a 9. I mean, I in a little bit of a different way. Yeah. I actually, part of my fitness journey, what I've done to craft this body, right? Oh, I know, I do love a journey. Anyway, to craft the bomb body, right, of my dreams, has allowed me to tap into a power I didn't even know, my energy, everything, right? With that being said, this is a little controversial. I have no problem tapping into the male gaze. The difference is I do it willingly.
Okay, so
hang on.
So 9.
Hey, hang on.
I need to get
So
everybody's
9.
answers. So 9, right?
So 9.
So anyway, so over here, what would you rate yourself?
I thought he doesn't cut people
I rated
off
myself
ever. Weird.
6.
No. What do you think if 1,000 men were rating you, what the collective answer would come to?
I'd say probably a little more because like I'm like taller than the average woman. Some people like taller women. So
You think the average answer would go up?
Yeah.
What do you think it would land on?
7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
5.
5? Okay. So then, this is the final question I'll ask on this. Think of the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life, from your perspective. Is she you?
No.
Okay. So take whoever that woman is who's not you.
To me.
Those 1,000 men are rating her between 1 to 10 and you next to her. What do you come out to then?
I kind of look like the woman I think is most beautiful, so I feel like our answers, hers might be bigger.
Who is it?
Megan Fox, she's a.
Yeah.
So you think you would come
She's
out?
got the killer blue eyes, though. I'll
Do you think
admit
you'd
that.
come out
Smart.
similarly to Megan Fox?
In my opinion,
No. In the opinion of what you think 1,000 men, if they're rating Megan Fox next to you, what do you think you'd come out to next to her then?
similar.
Saying, okay.
Yeah, we have different stuff that makes us equally beautiful.
Okay. So both 9s, both 10s? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think she's the most beautiful woman, and we look different.
Okay, second most
GMD
beautiful.
Jim
Second
donated
most?
$200. For all of you that said you will look better 10 to 20 years in the future, will you also be more delusional then? Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, so
eat it.
whoever the second most
So,
beautiful woman
I
is.
mean, I don't know. I think I tend to be drawn by media and whatever is projected to me, I tend to compare myself to. And
Sure.
I don't like comparing myself to women. I really don't. I feel like we all are different, and I don't do that to men either. So I wouldn't like to answer that because I just wouldn't rate myself compared. But if I was forced to, I'd probably rate myself lower because I always do that in my brain.
If you're compared up
Yeah.
to your idea of what you think the most beautiful
yeah,
woman
I
is.
would rate myself lower for
But,
sure.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, right?
yeah.
I'd probably come out lower, yeah.
Who's the most beautiful woman you can think of?
I can't name someone off the top of my head. I'm just picturing pretty people, honestly. Like, I can't give you a specific person.
Okay.
But I
against
think I
what
would
it-
come
yeah,
out lower,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for. I mean, I think Liza's the most beautiful.
Sure,
woman in the
second
world.
most beautiful
So
woman.
second to her, like I genuinely believe like most women are beautiful in their own, like any body type, and I'm not saying.